Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. There are representative of Indonesia on our left and representative of Malaysia on our right. Here, we will negotiate about the dynamics and problems that occur on the border of Aruk, Indonesia and Sarawak, Malaysia. All right, please welcome representative of Indonesia.
Okay, thank you, sir, from United Nations. So we are delegates from Indonesia. The topic is border problems with Aruk, Indonesia and Sarawak, Malaysia. So every country must have direct borders, both land and sea, with other countries. So in this context, Indonesia feels that the border between Aruk, Indonesia and Sarawak, Malaysia is a vital part of our existing dynamics, which needs serious attention from both countries. The myriad of problems are related to human trafficking, drug trafficking, violence of state borders, and illegal immigrants, which can then disrupt the security stability of the two countries. The problems between our countries must be resolved quickly. We need to know that this problem is certainly very detrimental, not only for the country of Indonesia, but of course Malaysia too. We also feel disadvantaged. This land border is a problem that has actually been around for a long time, but we still have to improve it. Malaysia must understand the security of its country. So Indonesia really hope that Malaysia can provide extra security at its border in Sarawak. Because in the territory of Indonesia, namely Aruk, we have provide extra security. The problem that I mentioned earlier should be an important note for the Malaysia state, so that Malaysia is not careless about its border security, which could be detrimental to our country. Thank you.
Yeah. Indonesia will convey that one of our government's policy direction is to take care and build borders seriously. We actualize this by increasing and building cross-border posts in order to minimize various crimes at the national border, especially Aruk and Sarawak. And we want to invite the Malaysia government to cooperate in improving the security of each country. So we want to discuss this. First, the central and regional government must immediately resolve the problems that have existed so far. There are point 1. The Indonesian government considers cross-border post Aruk as an export or import trade route, while Malaysia considers it is a traditional trade route. This will hamper Indonesia's exports to Malaysia. Point 2. There is a significant price disparity between Indonesian and Malaysian products, so that the border area is flooded with Malaysian products. And point 3. Commodities exported to Malaysia are agricultural or fishery products that have not been processed. Therefore, it is necessary to downstream or industrialize these commodities so that they have high added value.
Okay. Continuing from what has been said, that there are still important points to pay attention to at the border of Aruk and Sarawak, namely, point 4, tourism in Samas Regency and its surrounding need to be developed by building infrastructure and promoting tourism objects. Point 5, it is necessary to optimize the market or kiosk that has been built at the Aruk cross-border post by providing superior products from West Kalimantan and Indonesia, as well as promoting to Malaysia. Point 6, optimizing the use of Wisma Indonesia, which has rooms and halls equivalent to 5-star hotels. Wisma Indonesia must immediately be equipped with facilities and infrastructure and be promoted massively. Looking at the exciting problems, there are many crimes that might occur and harm Indonesia and Malaysia if our security is not stable, especially at the border. We as neighboring countries must protect our country from foreign intervention. Therefore, it is very necessary to maintain the security of each country, one of which is by tightening security at the border of Aruk and Sarawak. Here is not only Indonesia that guard the extra border in order to maintain the country's sovereignty. Malaysia must also be extra careful so that our country is equally safe.
Okay, thank you Indonesia for the explanation. Now for Malaysia representative, this is your turn.
Thank you, sir. We are delegates from Malaysia. Okay, regarding this topic related to border issue, what we will discuss is about what programs and improvements we will run in dealing with these border problems. We understand and be aware well that the problems on this border, especially Aruk and Sarawak, are serious problems and must be addressed immediately. These problems has a real impact on both countries, and in addition to having an impact on the two countries, the lives of people living in the two countries are also affected and become threats.
Increasing security has become a major aspect that must be improved in this border issue because this concerns security between the two countries. Moreover, there are many other problems that can occur if border security is very low. Of course, there are many other aspects that must be discussed and improved regarding the border in the two countries. Malaysia is fully aware that in carrying out border control, high technology is needed as well as adequate infrastructure. A good communication network is also needed in order to communicate smoothly. Very good and regular monitoring is needed in the field. Technology, infrastructure, and communication are not only needed in border control, but also for people in the life of people at the border so that peoples at the border can improve for the better. Because so far, the life of people on the Malaysian border have experienced difficult times because Malaysia now is ready to try to quarantine and present this.
Then, relate to border communication, which is expected to be open as wide as possible, Malaysia undertakes this, but of course with the limitation that information that relate to Malaysia's very vital internal security remains a subject that cannot be provided because it involves state secrecy. Because as we know, that information that relate to security and also domestic interests is something that must be kept secret in order to ensure the security of the country itself. And in responding to the cooperative relationship between Indonesia and Malaysia, and also to Indonesia's border security issues in Aruk and Sarawak, the Prime Minister of Malaysia gave several comments as follows. First, the Malaysian Prime Minister understands that the process to prioritize the MOU on the adoption and protection of Indonesian domestic honors in Malaysia. And the Ministry of Human Resource and Manpower, as well as the Prime Minister of Malaysia himself, has also given assurance to the President of Indonesia that Malaysia and Indonesia will hasten the signing of the MOU between the Malaysian Ministry of Human Resource and the Ministry of Manpower in Indonesia. Second, Malaysia also provides relief for Indonesian workers whose work contract have expired in Malaysia by conducting a recalibration program. And the third, the Prime Minister of Malaysia will also gradually open international travel between the two countries, although both still have no specific when was the exact time of the policy will be carried out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you from Malaysia representative. Yeah, as we understand that national borders are a vital part that should be an important part for every country. Relation to the border. We hope that Aruk and Sarawak between Malaysia and Indonesia will continue to maintain good relations and continue to build good borders.
The result of the agreement is that Indonesia and Malaysia both agree on negotiation and improvement, as well as improvement in the development of border issues seriously. Indonesia will improve and build PLBN in order to minimize crime at national borders, especially Aruk and Sarawak. Then Malaysia, which is able to improve high-level technology, the infrastructure, and open communication as with as possible. United Nations will always be a facilitator to realize world peace in every part of the world. The United Nations will also always be an instrument that is ready to help the needs of every country to realize safe border. And finally, the United Nations will open the widest possible communication space so that we can all understand each other. Thanks.